Welcome to Towle Talks. Which team do you want to be on? So last time we created a very simple networking program. Today we're going to talk about how to give the users more options in the lobby. This is not a trivial task. In fact, it took me a substantial amount of time to figure out how to actually make this work, so please pay attention. Welcome to Networking Tutorial 2. Now here we're going to talk about how to get information from the lobby into the game. One problem that does not directly solve itself or does not seem apparent is how do you get options from the lobby to the game? In fact, how do you even offer the player options? The basic lobby player just says ready, and that's the only option you have, and then you're done. But you may want the player to select their team, maybe select their class, or select different options before the game starts. It's unrealistic to think that there will be no options the player needs to select, even if there's only a few. So the way we get around this is, first of all, we're going to modify our two prefabs, although we're not going to use point light right now. Under player object, make sure you add a child point light. You can set the color to whatever you want. Also, I didn't take the directional lights off here, but the next tutorial I'll take the directional lights off so we can see the colors. And then under the network lobby player, we're going to add canvas. Now you may or may not want to do this because the network lobby player is going to exist when you start the game. So as it is now, these two buttons that I've got floating here, and I probably should modify them, are going to be in the game. And in fact, they're not even going to work because the event system, remember I have to have the event system, is not going to come with me. So I may or may not want this to happen. One thing you could do is you could make this your HUD. So when the game starts, you set a variable and then this canvas becomes like a new panel and becomes a HUD for the game. You don't have to do it that way, but that's one option you could do if you wanted to. I'm just going to fix this right now. I don't know why that's off the screen. Okay. So, in fact, I'm going to actually just move this over here. Underneath the canvas, I'm going to have two buttons, and basically, I want them to say blue and red for, say, selecting a team. And again, this is under the network lobby player. And again, you may or may not want this to actually be under the network lobby player. Just going to show you what you could do. Generally speaking, you could also put the event manager or the event system underneath the network lobby player, and then the canvas and all the GUI objects would work in the game. But this doesn't help us because we are kind of out of options with a basic network lobby player. Now there are multiple solutions for getting information from the lobby into the game. People have talked about using static classes, which is fine. That's an option. People have talked about setting variables or files. I think it's a little bit kind of a roundabout solution, but I guess you could do it that way. Or system variables. But I prefer just use the network lobby player to transport the information itself. This is not necessarily the easiest solution, but I think it's the most elegant because this network lobby player and the network manager are going to live with you in the game. And then only when you come back is the network lobby player going to be destroyed. So what we're going to do is we're going to make our own network lobby player. So make a new script, call it my network lobby player, and open it up. Again, we're going to say using Unity Engine.networking, but instead of extending network behavior, we're going to extend network lobby player. Now I have the option to add more information, more options, and I can, set values. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to say syncvar. Now what is syncvar? Syncvar means that the server, when this value changes on the server will update the choice on all of the clients. You have to be careful what kind of data you put on a syncvar because not all data can be synced. I kind of got lucky here because I think color 32, I believe what's happening is it can be masked as a vector 4, and the vectors can be synced. I think that's why this is working. So I'm using public color 32 choice, and this is going to be what team I'm on, blue or red. So when I start, I'm going to say choice equals color.gray, if is local player, and I'll set, so if this is not the local player, I should say, I'm going to get this.transform.getChild. This gets the canvas object. Because I know there's only one child, I'll just get 0, and then set GameObject.setActive to false. Why am I doing this? Because I don't want everyone's canvas popping up. I don't want to have to deal with 15 different menus, and I click one button, I've actually clicked 15. So I'm going to only enable the canvas if it belongs to the local player, if it belongs to the computer that I'm currently running on. Update, I don't need to worry about anything update. I'm going to have a public void hit button string t, and then under this is going to be what I pass in. This is what my button handler is going to be. I'm going to pass in red or blue. Then I'm going to call a command and set red or blue. Again, remember, setting the team is changing the game state. If I'm changing the game state, I have to do it on the server. This is not necessarily the server. If I put if is server around here, that would work, except that only the server could change the team that they were on, and no one else could change their team. So that's not what I want to do. So I send a string in to my command, and then I've set, if it's blue, I set the new choice to this color, or red, I set the new choice to red color. And then the last thing I have to do for the network lobby player is the void awake. Now this keeps my network lobby player from being destroyed when a new scene's loaded. So we'll say don't destroy unload, transform.gameObject. So this game object, I think we could do this too. I think this .gameObject would work as well. And this will keep my object from being destroyed when the game scene's loaded. When I return to the lobby scene, because I'm inheriting from network lobby player, this object will be destroyed though. So now I'm making my own network lobby player. So going back to my lobby scene, I'm going to click on network lobby player, and instead of having the network lobby player default, I'm going to take that off and add my network lobby player. And then we'll show lobby GUI, that'll be fine, and everything can remain the same. However, once I do this, I need to hit apply, change the prefab, and make sure I go to Network Manager and re-add my network lobby player. But now it should say my network lobby player instead of network lobby player default. So I'll delete the prefabs. Now again, we're going to have to, this will take a little bit, I apologize, build and run, because this is the first time I've opened it in 5.5. Again, you want to have Unity 5.5 or above for this. They fixed a lot of bugs, or misconceptions at least, in the earlier versions of 5. Now, as this is loading, the debugging is going to become quite arduous with networking. It's probably the most difficult part of this. What we want to do is we want to say we're going to play here, and we want to test both the client and the server in the editor. And I'll show you why in a moment. So start with the server, LAN host, LAN client, and then we'll say blue for the LAN client, red for the host. Oh, apparently I didn't save my my prefab. Oops. We'll start, and we'll start, and now we look. Now we won't see anything different on the cubes. Next tutorial we're gonna actually show you how do you get information from the cubes to the game objects, the player objects. So nothing's gonna change on our game. But now we can see if it worked though. So I can go over here. Don't destroy unload. I see my network lobby player. I click that. I see that in fact one is red and one is blue. So now that I know the server is working, that the values are being synced. However, does that mean the client is working? So now I have to stop this. And yes, there's a problem here. If I know if I hit LAN host, it doesn't work. We're going to talk about this in a moment. We're going to solve this problem a little bit later. So I'll stop that. I'll have to rebuild it. Or I think we just run it, can't we? We don't have to build it, just run it. And now I want this to be the client, so this will be the host. Yes, allow access. Client. And now, client. Apparently my checksum was mismatched. That's weird. I must be using an old executable. So file, build and run. Let's do it this way. So Unity will make sure you're using the right version too. So run this, run that, LAN host, LAN client, server will be blue, client will be red, and we'll start, and we will start. So now this is client, so we're going to look, we see that in fact the server, or the first one's blue, the client is red. So we see that the client also reflects the change that we made that by selecting the red or blue. Now we still haven't got this information from the network lobby player to the actual player object, and that's what we're going to talk about next lecture. This has been Towle Talks. Thanks for watching. Next video, we're going to take these options that the user selected in the lobby and apply it to their player in the game scene and actually have that take effect. Thank you for watching again, and until next time, cheers.